Most cities are full of paradoxes. So Glasgow is full of paradoxes, and one of those is that although it's a city which is endlessly creative and inventive, it also has some of the biggest and most chronic social problems that we face. And again, that's a good place for us to be, to have these conversations, to look at new ways of tackling long-standing challenges.
What it can do is raise the profile of what Scotland's doing, but also make Scotland more aware of the interesting things that are going on around the world.
Often these things start in London and then they're really successful and then they happen again in London and again in London. So it's been really good to see this energy come to Glasgow.
I've been at a session that's specifically focusing on the Barras, which is a community in the east side of Glasgow. And mostly it's been talking about how do we actually reach everyday folk with the work that we're doing. Social innovation is full of all these kind of design tools and sometimes impenetrable language, and how you translate that in ordinary communities and give them the opportunities to participate in those conversations. That's been something I've really benefited from this time.
I was involved in young people as change makers and young people being able to create and be involved in movements around the world, which was really interesting because typically we go to discuss things that impact on young people but don't ever involve young people, and I managed to bring one of the young people that we worked with, so it was great to have her thoughts and opinions shared with the group.
Our session was focusing on how do we bring better consuming to Scotland. So it's an opportunity for people who might not otherwise be engaging in separate communities to get together and realise that there's a lot of things that we can do together. There's a lot of ideas that we can feed off of one another. And by making that space, the festival allows that conversation to continue happening.
The mix of the festival and the city is incredible. It's a great match. So the city is very vibrant. There's a lot of spontaneity. And it's very similar to the ethos of the Unusual Suspects, so trying to create meaningful conversation and meaningful follow-up conversation after the events.
The connections that you can make with people who you might even see in the street, so you feel like you're making real connections, not just in that time and place in the session and then it's all gone after you've left.
I think the festival is quite different from other events I've been. It's very informal, and to me is about meeting face-to-face people and to discuss what we can do. I mean, I have this toolbox of skills, you have the other toolbox. How could we actually combine these toolboxes and make something happen?
The session I went to this morning was A Better Future. It was the design element of the session that I was really attracted to, and I think that's why David was there as well.
One of the interesting things that Bertie said was that she works with people and she gets them to speak their mind, and she believes they have like a passion and they already know what direction they want to go, and her organisation tries to get that out of them.
So I was able to share with him how we develop young people, and I heard he was part of a process like that.
We got to learn what sort of features we have, how we can maybe help each other.
I can really see that I will stay in touch with David, enable him maybe to come and visit our centre. Could some young people come from Northern Ireland, or could they model what we do and take it over there?
Yeah, me and Bertie are definitely going to connect after the festival. She's already mentioned that she's going to send me a few connections of potential people that I should talk to and how I could bring those people over to Northern Ireland or vice versa.
People want to feel safe, they want to feel secure in their ideas, and you've got to create the conditions. And for me it's important to be inclusive. It's important to bring in a percentage of fresh ideas, a percentage of people from different backgrounds. So bringing creative talent in with people that can implement is for me the way forward. So that's what I took a lot of great encouragement from that event.
The Unusual Suspects has given us some sparky conversations. It's been difficult for a lot of people, but I think it's been brilliant because what we're going to see is new action.
It's about people coming from the bottom up. It's about empowering people to run their own events, to work with different kinds of people, to work in new ways. So the process of organising the Unusual Suspects Festival is enlightening, and I hope the people that come get as much out of it as we do at Six.
I think it's important that the Unusual Suspect Festival takes place in different localities. I think then we can start to identify the commonalities in the themes coming up and also those social issues that are being identified.
And we've already been asked by lots of people when we're doing the next one, and we can't wait to see where we go next.